Since disc golf has exploded in the last few years, different brands and technology have started to pop up. Some of them are really innovative and pretty cool. That's what we're going to be checking out today, the Disc Doctor, a disc golf repair tool used to help smooth out nicks and rough spots on your disc. I found out about this product from Trash Panda's video where he featured some interesting tools in disc golf. I reached out to Nathan from Disc Doctor right after and struck up a conversation. He sent me some Disc Doctors and I was able to go out and use them on some of my more damaged discs. On this channel, I want to be able to give some insight into the different brands of disc golf. Hopefully, what Disc Doctor has built will inspire some of you to create your own products for the sport. Since I've never showed my face on videos yet, this is me, and this is my M&M cup. So without further ado, this is my conversation with Nathan from Disc Doctor. Enjoy. So when did you first start playing disc golf? When did you actually get into the sport?
Yeah. So I've been playing really serious for like 3 or 4 years. Just kind of starting in college, started playing with buddies. And then I actually first was introduced to the sport when I was about 10. My grandparents got me a disc and the Innova Shark. And so we had a neighborhood course and I got to play then. But the
Okay.
first time I actually threw it was in my grandparents' front yard and I broke their window. So it was
Oh,
a great
like
start.
the first throw?
Maybe not the first throw, but the first day I ever was playing some disc golf, took out a window.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
So you're 10 years old and then you pick it up about 4 years ago-ish. How like consistently were you playing? Like when you picked it up again, how consistent were you playing?
Probably like once or twice a month. And it's just kind of increased, especially with COVID, and doing online school. I had a lot of flexibility in my schedule. And so I got to play like 2 to 3 or 4 times a week. And now it's pretty much daily that I'll go play a course. So I'm really lucky to be able to do that.
So what was like the first moment that this doctor was born? Like what was the first like inclination that you had something?
Yeah. I had a sore on my finger and it just irritated me, just from throwing discs, and I had to fix it. I tried tape, and then I started trying to like fix my discs with sandpaper and razor blades and a lighter. And I was like, "There's got to be a better way." And so I started prototyping. Um, but it was really just that sore on my finger that sparked all of Disc Doctor.
Yeah. What were those like first prototypes like? Like what were they?
Just weird shapes that I thought would fit the shape of a disc. Um, they're actually at the bottom of my Instagram. There's a couple of like renderings. Some of them I didn't even like physical prototype. And then it comes this like lighter case that held a lighter, and so the idea was you could like heat up the plastic and then smooth it out. Um, and so that was like the earliest prototype, I'd say.
How many prototypes did you have? Like how many versions of it did you have until you settled on the lighter case?
So it always had a lighter based on these screenshots. So that's kind of the evolution of it. It starts with like this weird shape, and then it goes to this lighter case.
Okay.
Um, so it always had a lighter in it for my prototypes. Um, they just didn't have the grooves. It was just kind of different shapes that I was trying out.
Do you have a version that you call that? I've been calling it the like version 1.0. Do you call that
Yeah,
anything else or
I think I call it the OG disc doctor sometimes.
the OG Disc Doctor? Okay. So the OG Disc Doctor is 2021. How long until you update it to what we have now is known as the Disc Doctor?
It was at least a year because I did a Christmas of 3D printing these OG disc doctors, and it took me forever. My process just wasn't that good, and I was printing them one at a time, and they take about an hour and a half for each one to
Ooh.
print. Yeah, so I was like staying up till midnight just so I could print one more while I was sleeping, and then I'd wake up early and start printing every hour and a half. So that was not a great experience.
I don't know much about 3D printing. What's the resources required to do 3D printing? Apart from the machinery, what do you need?
Um, Free software, and then there's free design software. So like Fusion 360 is a great free software. You can get better stuff if you're a student, like SolidWorks, and that's what I started out in. But then that and a free slicer program that creates the G code files that the machine can read. Um, that's it. It's all free. A 3D printer is like $100 online when you buy them used. And I think people are like, "Oh, 3D printer, that's future technology." It's here. It's accessible to so many people. Yeah.
Now, before we get any further in the interview with Nathan, we're going to do a little deep dive into some of the PDGA rules on altering discs. For any casual disc golfers, this doesn't really matter, but we all follow the PDGA rules for any events. This is their section on what is legal and illegal about altering discs. First off, these are the 3 modifications to a disc that you can do after market production: wear and tear from usage during play, moderate sanding to address wear and tear or small molding imperfections, and marking with dye or permanent marker ink. Now, these are what they have listed as being illegal modifications to a disc: modifying the disc in a way that alters its original flight characteristics, excessively sanding the disc, etching, carving, or engraving the disc, adding material of detectable thickness, such as paint, intentionally deforming a disc such that it is not in a circular saucer-like configuration. So where Disc Doctor was at was using the lighter alongside the tool that would help you smooth out those damaged edges. That can be interpreted as using a tool to intentionally deform a disc or etching and carving a disc. No specifics on lighters. Again, for PGA's sake, this matters, but for the casual disc golfer, you can throw a frying pan for all you want, it doesn't matter. In regards to the pivot that we're about to see for the Disc Doctor, it's not PDGA approved, but it's PDGA compliant for sure. So for a year, you have the OG Disc Doctor until we get to what we have now. What were like the hurdles that you had to go over in regards to changing from a lighter case to what it is now?
I completely switched the printer I was using. So I had never resin printed, and I wanted to make my own injection molder. And to make the injection molds, I was going to 3D print them on this resin printer, and it didn't work out. It failed. Injection molding is like a very unaccessible process to me. It's a big manufacturing companies use it, and it just isn't something I could do. So I made the injection molding press, and it just didn't work. But I learned how to resin 3D print, and I was like, "This is awesome! You can print so much more and like super high quality." And so that's what kind of transitioned me into the resin 3D printing. And then that paired with the not being able to use a lighter on a disc for the PDGA, that really motivated me to change the design.
Okay, so with the injection molding, did you have the same like version that you were just trying to injection mold, and then when you transitioned over, like is that the same the same type of disc doctor that you were trying to injection mold?
I was trying to injection mold the OG disc doctor.
Okay.
And then there's even some OG disc doctors that are made out of blue resin. Just kind of in the process of switching, I started using the resin to print them.
So working with what you have now, like run me through the process, like the complete process of like obviously you have them on back stock. You're not when orders come in, you know, you're not making them to order. What is the process like? Step 1 to when you have a complete disc doctor in hand.
Okay, yeah. So I start the printer. It takes about 4 hours. I get to walk away, do whatever I want. I kind of stockpile them a little bit. I print, I break them off, put them in a bag, collect a couple of them, like 300 or so. I then wash them in rubbing alcohol, let all that evaporate off. And then there's a UV curing process to make the resin harder. So I set them up in my UV curing oven and then take them out. And then that's kind of like the packing process. So while they're curing, I will cut my sandpaper and put business cards and stickers and nail clippers. And then once they're done curing, I take them out. I put my elastic tie on the disc doctor, and then put them onto the stack of sandpaper and whatnot, and then slip them into a baggie that has my Disc Doctor sticker already on it. And that's like the whole process beginning to end.
Gotcha. So what, like, if you're doing that, how many can you do in a day? Let's say if you aren't doing anything else, how many can you make in a day with the process that you have now?
I could print 40 times 4 hours times maybe 3 prints in a day. What is that? 120? I think I could print 120
Good
if I
question. I don't
really,
know.
if I set my heart to it. I might be able to pack 120. If it would be 9 hours of not enjoying it, but I could do it.
Yeah. What has been your biggest order or order day? Like what's been your biggest day? Not so much just making them, but like in contrast to popularity.
Yeah, the wholesale orders are, it's a month process for me to do a big wholesale order. So I'd say I think I had one for 325, and that's my biggest to date. So if any disc golf tournaments want to up that order, please do. But that and the Trash Panda video, that those there was 2 days where it was just, this is what I did. I just doctored all day, and they were great days.
Yeah, I got introduced to you through the Trash Panda video. It was pretty sweet seeing what they had to do with it. What like did you have any other like publicity from that apart from just making sales, or did you notice growth like anywhere else?
I may have gained like 10 or 15 followers on Instagram. But
Solid.
the right,
Yeah.
the the real growth is the exposure. I was thinking about it. I bet that the same amount of people discovered me in that day, if not more, than the people I've reached in the past 2 years of running an Instagram account, talking to countless people at disc golf courses. And then with that, a 4 minute clip in a Trash Panda video, my exposure like jumped so much. So there have been other opportunities. Getting to talk with Riley about disc golf is pretty exciting. And then a couple other companies have reached out to me, and I've been able to work with them. A couple things in the works. I don't want to say too much, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, what's okay, so back to like your like best selling days. Are you working with, is it mainly just the orders you get are for tournaments, or are you working with other retailers or brands or anything?
Um, I do have a few retailers. I think I have one, probably like 3 or 4 online retailers, and then I have, I'd say, around 10 in-person retailers that sell disc doctors.
Okay.
So that's pretty exciting
Okay.
to have it in a store for me.
So for the online retailers, do they just order when they order from there, then you get to ship them? The online retailers aren't, they don't have Disc Doctor on hand.
They do. They carry inventory.
So do you have to like monthly catch up with them to like restock everything, or what's the process of like working with uh retail stores?
It's probably about once every 6 months. I just had the Infinite Discs re-up their order. Yeah, every once in a while they'll just shoot me an email and let me know how many they want, and I'll send them to them. For wholesale, I usually try to let them know what colors I have in stock, and or what colors I'm willing to send a whole lot of them to, away from my Etsy shop and individual sales that I could be having. And so it's a balance of supporting these wholesalers and retailers and supporting my own Etsy shop and trying to balance them out.
What's it like being in, I mean, disc golf is growing. You started after COVID, but like 2021 was like the really big boom, and then we've kind of seen a plateau. But like, what's it like being in disc golf where it is growing? It's a growing sport, but it's still a lot of like small things like smaller businesses. What's it like being a part of that in a growing sport?
I think it's a great place to be. everybody's pretty encouraging. People have ideas, and I'm like, heck yeah, that's awesome. One of them recently is, I think it's Rainmaker. I have one right here. I thought Runmaker. This, I thought this is a brilliant idea. It's a You can line it up with the basket and it measures how far away you are. I think that's such a cool idea, and everybody's always innovating in disc golf, and so that's what really excites me is
Okay.
seeing other people's ideas.
Yeah, it's fun seeing. I would like the point of this is, I want to make an informative video about you and about what you're doing, but to like almost inspire smaller disc golf companies to be able to innovate and create and not, be able to see success and hopefully be inspired by something like your journey. That's been pretty interesting.
I hope that people take that away from this video is like, I think it's fail fast, fail often, and fail cheap.
Yeah.
That's everything it takes to make it, is to just make mistakes and learn from them and grow.
Yeah. And to make adjustments, because you've had to make adjustments. Like that's the biggest thing is you have to pivot. If you don't pivot, then you either fall behind or, there's, issues with following the rules and stuff like that. But, so we talked about the process. We talked about the history of the company. What's the future look like for you? Not specific like business deals you're trying to make, but like where, if you could take Disc Doctor anywhere, where would you want to take it? What would you want to do with the company? Like, what are your goals and hopes?
I want to partner with other disc golf companies, and grow those relationships and be able to partner with potentially disc manufacturers or anybody involved in disc golf. That's who I want to be working with. That's kind of my hope for it, is to be one of these key players in disc golf that has influence and has an influence on the sport and the ability to help the sport to continue to grow and improve.
Do you have pivoted once? Do you think you could pivot again, or do you see yourself making another sort of tool like Disc Doctor?
I think pivots are going to happen all the time for Disc Doctor. It might like it might depend on how I'm feeling one week, and sandpaper and nail clippers might disappear. It I've been looking at replacing the elastic bands on top of them. I'm always trying to change something, trying to make it better. Whether it's in my process or in my social media, like it's always about how can I do this better. So yeah, I think a pivot is inevitable.
Is there anything that you would want to say before you go? Shout out to anything. I'm going to put all your stuff in the description, but anything you would want people who watch this to know about Disc Doctor?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you to everyone who's supported Disc Doctor. It's been really awesome, and I couldn't have done it without each and every one of you. And definitely throw smooth disc, and throw smooth, have good form. Yeah, I really have enjoyed talking with you, Riley. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a fun video to make. All of Disc Doctor stuff is in the description, Instagram and Etsy. Go check that out. Go buy some Disc Doctors. Super cool. I use them. It's been fun using it. It's been fun having other people use them because it's been entertaining. And yeah, that's it. We'll see you later.
Awesome.
Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the interview style video. Wanted to try something new, and after finding out about Disc Doctor, I thought it was a perfect topic to do it on. Make sure to go check out Disc Doctor in the links below. I want to do more videos just like this, so comment down below who you would want to see in an interview. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.